New York Giants quarterback Jesse Palmer is The Bachelor. 2-hour premiere ABC Wednesday.
A prison escapee is back in custody. Coalition troops look for revenge. And is this the end of winter? All next.
Now, from the news leader, this is TV 12 News at 11.
A state high school basketball star is sentenced for dealing drugs. While the clock springs forward, our temperatures spring back. And coalition troops beef up a vigilant resolve to retaliate against last week's deadly attacks in Iraq. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Wes Goforth. Jamie Turner is off tonight. The winter cold that is clamping down on eastern North Carolina tonight shouldn't last long, but it could cause some problems with young vegetation. Let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Myers in the Weather Center and tonight's first look at your SkyTrack 12 forecast.
Well, West, temperatures have not fallen off very quickly after the sunset tonight due to the winds, but now the winds in most locations have gone calm, so we'll see our temperatures dropping down away from the water tonight, either at or below freezing. So we'll probably see anywhere between 2 to 3 hours of freezing temperatures for tonight back on the inland side. Here's a look at school net temperatures. We are seeing most locations into the mid 40s, especially on the inland side. Pamlico High School, the cool spot at 38 degrees. E.E. Smith Middle School in Keansville is at 40. And if you notice, all locations are reporting calm winds. Here's a look at the satellite. We are seeing clear skies across the area, a bright full moon. Those high clouds toward our south and west will stay south for the overnight hours for tonight. Everyone is seeing cold temperatures. Freeze warning in effect tonight, clear and cold. Overnight lows 28 to 32 degrees inland, along the coast 32 to 36.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Carteret County correctional escapee's freedom was short-lived today. Authorities apprehended 20-year-old Joseph Birkner early this evening in Terrell County. Officers say Birkner drove off from a work detail earlier today, possibly in a stolen truck. He was due for release from the Newport facility in October, but could now face more prison time. The suspect who shot a Buncombe County Sheriff's deputy to death last night might have suffered from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Sergeant Jeff Hewitt and 2 other deputies tried to serve involuntary commitment papers on Eddie Casada. Casada shot Hewitt to death, then committed suicide. Deputy Hewitt was a decorated military veteran in the Persian Gulf War and also won an Officer of the Year award with the Buncombe County Sheriff's Department. Fire investigators believe now the fire that killed 2 Onslow County women this morning started either from a burning candle or an electrical problem. When firefighters arrived at the scene, they found 73-year-old Carolyn Morton and her daughter, 51-year-old Brenda Morton Irvin, already dead of smoke inhalation. The victim's family pastor offered its reaction.
The family is distraught, and it always is. It's hard to be prepared for such a horrendous loss. A mother and a sister in one accident is hard.
Well, firefighters ask everybody to let this tragedy serve as a stark reminder to change the batteries in their smoke detectors. More developments now in the money extortion scandal that brought down the state agriculture commissioner. The 5th person involved is 52-year-old Norman Chambliss, who pleaded guilty today in court in Greenville. Chambliss is the owner and operator of the Rocky Mount Fair. He was charged with 1 count of obstruction of justice and aiding and abetting.
Cooperated with this investigation since the beginning. He testified before the Board of Election hearings, and he's going to continue to cooperate throughout the entire investigation.
Chambliss' sentencing is set for July 6th. He faces up to 10 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. North Carolina's highest scoring basketball player, high school player ever, today was sentenced for drug dealing. Jameson Curry from Eastern Alamance was sentenced to 3 years of probation, fines, and community service. Last summer, Curry was recruited to play for the Tar Heels. A UNC spokesperson says Curry will keep his scholarship active until Coach Roy Williams gets a chance to speak with him and his family. An Iraqi Shiite cleric whose supporters have staged violent anti-U.S. demonstrations is holed up in a mosque tonight near Baghdad. Muqtada al-Sadr is wanted for the slaying of another Shiite leader. And meanwhile, 1,200 U.S. Marines helped launch Operation Vigilant Resolve, trying to quell violence around Iraq. Sonia Crawford has a report tonight from Washington.
U.S. authorities are not saying when they'll arrest Shia Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, the man they believe has incited much of the recent violence against coalition troops. His armed followers are promising any action against him will, quote, open the gates of hell.
If he's arrested, he'll become a kind of martyr. If he's killed, he'll be even more of a martyr. And regardless of what happens to him, there'll be other leaders to take his place.
Over the past 2 days, his followers have clashed with U.S. troops all across Iraq, resulting in the deaths of 8 American soldiers. The U.S. military is now considering several options to keep the situation under control, including extending and rearranging troops already there. More than 130,000 Americans are currently on the ground. Within the next several weeks, that number will drop to 110,000 as some troops return home. But Central Command may ask the 1st Armored Division to delay its return during this period of instability. All this is raising questions among some prominent members of Congress about the viability of handing over power to the Iraqis on June 30th. President Bush maintains the date is firm. Sonia Crawford, ABC News, Washington.
All right, Sonia just said Mr. Bush says he'll push ahead with plans to transfer sovereignty in Iraq to the end of June. The president brought the optimism of last week's Good Jobs report to Charlotte today. Mr. Bush promoted a new jobs training program and topped off a record-shattering fundraising drive that has brought more than $180 million back to the Bush-Cheney coffers. Mr. Bush took swipes at his Democratic opponent without mentioning him by name. Today's event collected $1.55 million from 900 donors, according to the campaign. It is the last of a string of planned personal fundraising appearances. Wisconsin authorities have not decided whether to charge a college student for faking her own abduction. Audrey Seiler's lawyer says he'll be prepared for whatever comes. Several doctors have talked with the University of Wisconsin student and her family, trying to figure out what prompted the hoax. Seiler turned up safe in Madison, Wisconsin last Wednesday. She claimed she was kidnapped 4 days earlier. Police say she was not. New York City is in the running to host the 2012 Summer Olympic Games, and the city's committee unveiled its logo today. It features an athlete's arm raised in celebration on a blue background on one side. The other side has the Statue of Liberty's uplifted torch over a green background. New York is one of 9 cities vying for the honor to host the Summer Games. The International Olympic Committee will select its host city in July of 2005. The blustery winds and chilly weather did not stop residents and tourists from walking Washington's tidal basin this morning to view the cherry blossoms. The 2-week Cherry Blossom Festival celebrates the donation of 3,000 cherry trees from the city of Tokyo to the people of Washington in 1912 to mark 60 years of friendly relations. It is the American capital's largest annual tourism event, attracting about 800,000 people last year. The festival ends on Easter Sunday. And a big thank you tonight from Harley. Harley is the 5-year-old female boxer we first told you about last week. She was abused and even shot and needs hip surgery and other treatment, and so we ask you to help. And Pals for Paws, which is caring for Harley right now, says you responded with donations totaling $2,566, and that'll easily cover her surgical needs and enable Pals for Paws to start a fund for some future needy animals. By the way, kids from Ben D. Quinn Elementary in New Bern gave $400 to the Harley Fund, and so Pals is going to take Harley out to meet those kids. Natural disasters plague the world tonight, and the death toll continues to rise in floods south of the border, while here in the States, fires are sweeping the landscape. Details are coming up with coverage you can count on from Lizzie, Hubert, and your hometown. You're watching TV 12 News at 11.
Closed captioning brought to you by Chestnut, Clemens, Thomas, and Peacock, your trial attorneys.
Teach got you your wrap.
Great.
The Chicken Club wrap.
I'm trying to keep track of the carbs now, you know.
How's that going? You counting them?
It's okay. It's more work than I thought it would be, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta keep track. Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I got the counter.
Wow. So that's...
Better choices. Sonic's got them, others don't. Try Sonic's new Chicken Club wrap with the freshest ingredients, now available with our new carb-friendly tortilla. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
We've got the bases covered when it comes to having fun. Watch the Kingston Indians play.
Saturday night, April 10th, the Tribe takes on the Winston-Salem Warthogs, and you'll get a chance to take home a cool K-Tribe ball cap with full paid admission. It's courtesy of Papa John's and WCTI-TV 12.
We've got the bases covered when it comes to having fun. Watching Kingston Indians play.
Sunrise tomorrow morning in New Bern at 6:48 and it'll set at 7:34. High tides at Atlantic Beach 8:26 a.m. and 8:50 tomorrow evening.
I love to run, and it's not a problem. The hair goes with me when I run.
I would always wear a hat, even in the pool.
My tennis game has improved. I don't know, it just feels like I'm always acing the guy.
Hello, I'm Dr. John Parker. Hair loss is an all too common problem, but finally there's good news.
The Parker solution to hair loss?
No, I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I've been making these little, thin 99-cent hamburger patties for the fast food industry all my life. I get calls every day. People ask me, hey, Jimmy, can you make a thinner, cheaper burger? A couple months ago, I got a call from a guy. He wanted this huge, big, thick patty. Now, this beats all. He wanted it made out of Angus beef. The best you can buy. Get this, the real shocker, it was Hardee's on the phone.
The new low-carb thick burger with only 5 carbs. It's how the last place you'd go for a burger will become the first.
Mexican rescue crews continue to find victims in the rubble of weekend flash flooding. At least 25 people are dead, 60 more missing, and 500 homes lost in northern Mexico. The city of Piedras Negras, just across from Eagle Pass, Texas, is in a state of emergency. One river in that area rose 25 feet in just 15 minutes. Now, meanwhile, the Picnic Rock fire in Colorado is more than 50% contained. The burned area covered more than 9,100 acres. Rains in the area late last week helped weary firefighters in the Fort Collins area. The man who said he accidentally started the fire while burning brush in his backyard says he has contemplated suicide and that he is truly sorry. The fire is out. Let's see here. This is in Miami. Okay, the fire is out, but the danger lingers on here in Miami. The spectacular brush fire over the weekend there damaged one home and led to the evacuation of more than 500 others. Weather conditions are keeping firefighters on edge. The air is dry, temps in the 80s, and you know what that means. Perfect conditions for fire. The fire covered 700 acres. This was in the city limits and one of just several fires across Florida over the weekend. The North Carolina fire